We have built staffs that touch the sky, created advanced submarines to conquer the oceans, and even set foot on the moon 56 years ago. Yet, we still cannot fully uncover the mystery of the pyramids that were built over 4,500 years ago. No modern machines were used, no electricity, and no advanced technology. Still, they constructed a structure where each stone weighs between 2.5 and 80 tons, and the total weight of pyramid is 6 million tons. If you compare it with Burj Khalifa, then this is the result. Although many people believe that aliens built it, there is no evidence to support that claim. Despite enduring extreme heat, storms, and rain for thousands of years, it still stands as one of the 7 wonders of the world. Through today's video, you will be taken back 4,500 years into the past to the time when this structure was being built. And by the end of the video, you will be able to understand the answers to all the questions that have been forming in your mind. Chapter 1. Why the pyramid was built. The kings of ancient Egypt were called pharaohs. They were the religious and political center of ancient Egypt, believed themselves to be living gods, and were regarded by the people as representatives of God on earth. Because of this belief, they decided to build tombs so that the bodies of the pharaohs would remain protected after death and their souls could receive divine blessings. Their bodies were adorned with gold ornaments, then mummified and buried inside specially built chambers within the pyramid, so that after death their souls could enter a beautiful afterlife and receive the highest honor. Chapter 2. How the pyramid was built. Now we know why the pyramids were built, but turning this plan into reality was a huge challenge. The pharaohs demanded that their tombs be royal and majestic, so the brilliant Egyptian architects and viziers of that time were assigned to design the pyramid. Around 20,000 workers worked day and night to build this structure. You may have seen in different movies that the pyramids were built by forcing slaves to work. In reality, the people who worked on the pyramids were not slaves at all. They were the most skilled and physically strongest workers of that era. The Egyptians deeply respected their pharaohs, and because of this, they worked with full dedication so that their ruler could enjoy a beautiful afterlife after death. Now the question is how they built the pyramids when each stone weighed between 2.5 to 80 tons. The stones were sourced from nearby areas. Some even came from Aswan, which was about 800 kilometers away. So how were these massive stones transported? Remember, at that time there were no wheels. There were no vehicles to load stones and carry them easily to the site. So how did they move such heavy stones? First, the stones were transported by river on large rafts. But to move them from the riverbank to the pyramid site, they used sledges. A remarkable discovery came from a study in 2014. A painting found in the tomb of Jehuti-Hotep, created around 1900 BC, revealed this secret. In that painting, nearly 170 people are seen pulling a massive statue using ropes. But if you look closely, you will notice something important. Right in front of the statue, one person is pouring water onto the sand. Why? Because pulling heavy objects on dry sand is extremely difficult. But when the sand is slightly wet, friction is reduced by almost half. In other words, by pouring just a little water, they significantly reduce the effort of thousands of workers. Ancient Egyptians were already applying this principle of physics more than 4,000 years ago. Now comes the next question. How were these massive stones stacked on top of one another to build the structure? How were they lifted upward? The answer was found in 2015, when a team of English and French archaeologists discovered a wooden ramp in a quarry that was around 4,500 years old. Researchers believe that during pyramid construction, a straight sloping ramp was built from the ground up to higher levels. But pulling stones up such a steep slope was still extremely difficult, so they placed wooden pillars on both sides of the ramp. Ropes were wrapped around these pillars, and using leverage, the heavy stones were pulled upward. To understand this better, look at the image shown on the screen, where the entire system is clearly explained. The pyramids you see today did not look like this originally. Back then, they were covered with white Tura limestone, which would shine brightly when sunlight hit it. And if you look closely at the very top, you would see a cap made of electrum, a mixture of gold and silver known as the pyramidion. Chapter 3. What's inside the pyramid? From the outside, it looks like nothing more than a massive mountain of stone. But once you enter inside, you begin to witness one of the greatest examples of ancient engineering. Entering the pyramid is not easy at all. You have to move forward through a narrow, dark tunnel. Inside the Great Pyramid, there are mainly 3 chambers. First, the subterranean chamber, located deep underground, which was never completed. Second, the Queen's Chamber, located in the middle. And third, at the highest point, the King's Chamber. To reach the king's chamber, you must pass through the Grand Gallery. This massive corridor is 153 feet long and 28 feet high. The stones of its walls are cut and polished so precisely that, even after thousands of years, not even a razor blade could fit between the joints. Once you pass the Grand Gallery, you reach the heart of the pyramid, the king's chamber. This room is entirely made of red granite. At the center of the king's chamber lies the tomb of King Khufu. What is surprising is that no mummy or gold was ever found inside the king's chamber. The same is true for the queen's chamber. It is believed that ancient robbers stole the mummies, along with all the treasures from these chambers. Now let us go to the lowest part of the pyramid. Nearly 100 feet beneath the ground, carved directly into the bedrock, lies the subterranean chamber. As soon as you enter this chamber, you feel a shock. Unlike the perfect and refined engineering of the king's chamber above, this room feels completely opposite. It looks as if the work was suddenly abandoned midway. On one side of the chamber, there is a deep pit known as the bottomless pit. On the other side, there is a narrow tunnel that ends abruptly in a dead end. But why? Why did the ancient Egyptians put so much effort into building this underground chamber? Some researchers believe this was the original plan, that the pharaoh was meant to be buried here, but later the plan was changed. Others believe this chaotic design was intentional. It symbolized the underworld, a place where the soul faces many dangers after death. Some even believe that this pit was meant to be a passage leading to an underworld city, suggesting that the ancient Egyptians may have planned to build a city beneath the earth. The pyramid is not just a tomb or a pile of stones. It is the greatest example of human potential. At a time when humans had no machines and no computers, they created something that has defeated time itself, using nothing but belief and absolute focus. In the vast universe, humans may be small, but the creations of humanity are immense. The pyramid reminds us of that truth. What you think about the Great Pyramid of Giza? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.